Alright everyone, now we have to talk about the apparent war on gas stoves. When you've run out of actual meaningful things to do, either because you can't do them or don't want to do them, this is the sort of thing that you meander into. You start just nitpicking about non-problems, tackling minute issues, driving in a nail with a sledgehammer, so to speak. You end up doing things like that. People get bored and decadent. The government can't be any more dysfunctional than it is, so at this point they've stopped bothering to actually govern. The Biden administration is quite literally a freak show. To be clear, the administration is completely off the chains at this point. It is in total dissolution and chaos. Behind the scenes, you have all manner of court intrigue. You've got a transport secretary that the other day was deflecting off of the FAA outage by trying to blame a cyber attack countermanding his own boss. Just to be clear about what level we're currently on as a society. I don't mean to blackpill anyone. I mean, it's amusing. It's better than like the boring, dour days of the mid-Obama administration or something like that. At the very least, we've always got something to bitch about. So, at least you get your bread and circus. You got bread in your belly and you can watch horses racing around a track and people killing each other. In ancient Rome, this is very important. Nowadays, we televise it. Anyway, here's the problem. If you look at the excuse being used to try to go after the ownership of gas ovens, you run into several problems. The first is that they're trying to say, well, it's because of childhood asthma. It contaminates homes with certain emissions, and so it shouldn't be used. And then, yes, to be clear, gas stoves do release particulate matter. It is not quite on the same order as a wood oven now, is it? I noticed that the administration is not saying, hey, we should ban large, roughly box-shaped pieces of cast iron that you can put wood in. They're not talking about banning those. I think the particulate matter is higher from a wood stove. I actually got, back in Rutland, an old wood stove down in the basement. Not sure exactly how they managed to get it down there. I think it would take 5 people probably to lift that fucker, but just saying, a little bit of a mystery. I'm not sure exactly if my grandfather used it or if he just brought it from his cabin back in Bridgewater. I'm not sure. Anyway, I could hook that up. I suppose if they ban all the gas and shit like that, you probably have to. You'd be using wood pellets. Those are way, way cleaner than gas. There's several other problems. It makes no sense, number one. You're saying 12% of childhood asthma is caused by this. All right. So a home without kids, well, there goes that risk. Wood stoves, not included in this attempted blanket ban. You run into obvious constitutional issue. The President of the United States cannot sign an executive order banning your gas stove. Just to be clear, that would not hold up in court. It would be injuncted immediately. It's not clear what methodology they intend to use. And then there was that one, I can't remember his name, there was that one pedophile state congressman from California who was basically reiterating the same thing. The one that helped to literally author the bill decriminalizing certain perverted acts over in California as long as they were homosexual in nature. I wonder why. He has glommed aboard this now as well. And there are some people, if you look at some of the posts about this, there are people that are doing the middle-of-the-road fallacy and saying, well, I don't believe in an outright ban, but they really should be phased out. Under what premise? They are not a particularly unclean way to cook. And by the way, if you try to ban gas ovens, you're going to ban most of the legit restaurants that exist in the goddamn country. Oh wait, in commercial settings, probably that's not what they're talking about. Apparently they want to come into your home and swap it out for an electric oven. Now, I prefer electric for various purposes anyway. I am very fire averse, for example. Now, I realize that we're in the Netherlands right now. Even if there were a gas stove here, it wouldn't be too meaningful because, the houses are all made of brick and cement. There's hardly any wood in them. The amount of wood in this house probably wouldn't be able to kindle a house fire, just to be clear. You'd have to use the couch for tinder. That being said, though, I am fire phobic when it comes to where I'm living. I just don't like it very much. I've said ever since I was a kid, it's not really a phobia, but it's an aversion to fire being anywhere near anything remotely flammable if it's in an indoor setting. It just makes me uncomfortable. Fireplace is okay. Once you study how those work, and you're like, okay, this is probably no problem. But hey, hire the chimney sweep to scrape it out maybe before you kindle your winter fire. That being said, though, gas ovens are clean. I would be averse to using one as well because, you have a gas leak and all of a sudden, you get knocked out and die on your floor asphyxiated on gas fumes or something. That's why, by the way, they put certain substances in it to make it smell like gas. That's not naturally there. It can be odorless. Just to be clear, there's a reason for that. So that you don't, he doesn't light up his joint in the house and then the whole house explodes or something like that. What are you actually going to do? What method exists to get rid of the gas ovens, though? Legally and pragmatically. I mean, clearly they're not going to send the Gestapo into your house and say, well, you've got a gas oven, you got to get rid of it right now. They're not going to be able to swap all the units. What exactly are you talking about? It's one of those non-issues that a dysfunctional administration that knows that it can't get its shit together delves into. The link in the description is the Clown World post about this, which is hilarious. And again, even there, you can read some responses by people that are largely positive towards the idea. Oh, think of the children. By the way, anytime that children are brought up in the broader context with regards to government policy, not to activism, like, save the kids from CRT, that makes sense. When you get government officials sitting in positions of power and something unrelated to kids has kids dovetailed into it, so it's not education, it's not childhood obesity or something, you're talking about fucking ovens. And you start saying, think of the children. Well, think of the asthmatic children. 12% of all asthma attacks are caused by gas ovens. That's always a tell that you're about to wander into something authoritarian, disturbing, which otherwise would never be given any credibility by the public. The average person, I have to believe that the average person reading this shit is chuckling right now too. I deeply disagree with that premise, and I've seen no particular study saying that 12% of asthma attacks are caused by gas ovens. I don't think so. No, I don't agree with the premise. I would like to see the numbers, and not the lies, damn lies, and statistics. Like, do you even have a real study that you're citing? Or is this another example of them making up shit right out of their asses? Probably. It is the Biden administration after all, so it was plopped out of somewhere that was brown and smelly. That was about all. Peace out.